Well, the lawn cutting days are over. We just got our first blast of winter here up in typical Canadian wilderness. So, update on my vehicles. Well, let's start with the Buick. Still haven't got around to the power window issue. Still runs great. I need to vacuum it, of course. But now that winter's here, it's time to be parked. Unfortunately, this here, the old Cadillac DeVille, runs great. Actually runs fantastic. 300 cubic inch, 4.9 liter. It too has one minor problem. Lots of trunk space. The idle control solenoid, or whatever the hell it is, I'll show you in a minute. I already had this running today, so it probably won't do it. But when it's cold, it'll fire over and immediately stall. The engine is cold right now because it has been parked for a couple hours. To unplug that, because if it was left plugged in, the service engine light would come on and it would go into a mean rev. So I had to unplug it because it was revving out at about $3 grand. That's pretty hard on the transmission when you got to go into a different gear. And without that plugged in, you can hear that the engine, it's idling a little rough. It's constantly going up and down. It's idling quite erratically, but It doesn't bother me that much. Still got this service ride control nonsense. I'm not too worried about it. Power antenna is still functioning. The one on the Buick quit for some reason. Don't know why. Now, the old blue lad. Blew a brake line on it back in late August, and I ended up, it was at the back, and I ended up changing the wheel cylinders as well, mainly because, you know, they were getting pretty shop looking, and I didn't really like the way they were looking, so I changed them, and managed to get the brakes functioning again. The brake light went out. It was on for the longest time. This thing fires right up. U-joints are going because once I put it into gear, it sends you back in your seat a little bit. That time it didn't. All in all, this one still runs fine. Burns oil constantly. It's hard to keep oil in this. This car is going to be parked soon for the winter because I don't need it. This little guy here, way down tucked underneath here, is supposed to be connected to this. I have never seen these on any car before except this one. I'm not sure why it's even there. There is supposed to, it's like a solenoid or something. When the steering is cranked to its limit, it is supposed to stall the AC compressor clutch out so that there's not so much drag on the engine when the power steering pump's in high use. This thing decided to quit working, and that's why my AC wasn't working for the longest time back in the hot summer days. Well, back in mid to late July, it was really hot. We had a good 2 weeks of, God, it must have been 40 degrees. And this wasn't working. I did a test on it, and it is holding pressure. It's not leaking. And I ended up coming across this. It was this thing here. It's supposed to cancel out once the steering's in high demand, so I just jumper wired it so that the compressor, the AC compressor, would run all the time, even if the steering was in high use. I've never seen these on any vehicle before, except this one. The Buick doesn't have it. The Cadillac doesn't have it. Nor does my Cutlass. my 86 Cutlass, but this car does. Not sure why. So in about late August, I had the AC working again, which was good. You don't need it now though. Not this time of year. But yeah, the old girl did really good. About next 2 weeks it'll be parked.